at the end of the day, I think one of the great things about Eli Manning is that he never missed a start. He never missed a start. He's like Brett Favre, never missed a start. He was always out there no matter what. He wanted to play, loved the game, and he was always going to be with his guys. So that's something, but they also protected themselves. And Eli protected himself, and that's one of the most important aspects of playing quarterback in the NFL is trying to protect yourself when you can. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations.
Yeah, of course. And I think that there's a couple of guys that have played with reckless abandon that are younger quarterbacks. One already paid the price last year, and Anthony Richardson with a injury that cost him a number of games. And then the quarterback the Giants are going to see this week, and Jaden Daniels, I mean, he is out there exposing himself in a way that reminds you of the way RG3 played early on in his career and ended up getting him hurt. His helmet got ripped off twice in this game, Jaden Daniels, and he would just expose himself, turn his back as opposed to sliding. So, I mean, if I am the coaches of any of these younger quarterbacks, I'm playing these videos and saying, you want to be the next guy that's out for 2 months?
Right. I mean, like, you don't want to scare the guy. You don't want to take away what they do naturally and normally and how comfortable they feel. But this is the life of a rookie. They remember Sam Darnold, the ghost game. I've said many times in this program that young players think that they see like 15 players out in the field when, in fact, there's only 11. They're not used to playing, I wouldn't say on a condensed field, but because the hash marks are so much closer, everybody's so much closer to you, and the windows are much tighter. The guys are much bigger, much faster on the defensive line. Jaden Daniels, when he was in college, you could probably say every time he stepped foot on the football field, he was the best athlete on the field. Now he's got 11 guys, even on the worst team in the NFL. There are 11 guys over there, all can run, all are big, all are strong, all are bringing the heat. And the interesting thing about Tua getting hurt last night, it was Damar Hamlin, who was the guy back in January of 2023 against the Cincinnati Bengals who had a cardiac arrest on the field. And you wondered about the future of his career. And last night he's starting for the Bills, who had a ton of injuries and is starting young players all over the field. And somehow, some way, they win with Josh Allen only throwing the ball 19 times.
Yeah.
And the way it was the turnovers. You had 3 turnovers, and then 2 going out of the game. Game's over.
Right, and that was it. And James Cook was all over the place last night.
By the way, did you know this?
Did I know what?
All right, so James's Cook, his older brother is Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
So James's name is James Dalvin Cook. Dalvin's name is Dalvin James Cook. No, I didn't do a sports minute on it. No.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about it, but I thought I'd bring it up to you.
Interesting. Very interesting. And then in true fantasy football fashion, I was going against James Cook yesterday, who had 2 touchdowns in all of 2022, 2 touchdowns in all of 2023, and 2 touchdowns last night.
Yeah, well, I lost too. I had the Dolphins. I had Dolphins covering a number.
Think about that. Oof. Think about that.
Yeah.
2 rushing touchdowns, a total of 4 the last 2 years, 2 in all of 2022, 2 in all of 2023, but then 2 rushing touchdowns last night. And by the way, he caught one too.
Yeah, that touchdown was a great play call, and I think I will give Kirk Herbstreit a lot of credit. He diagrammed the play, he talked about the play, and this is the game within the game, the coach within the coach. So the coaches for the Buffalo Bills offense, they know that the Miami Dolphins are going to play man coverage on 4th down, and they call what we'd like to call a rub route. Basically, it's 2 guys breaking across the middle, and then the back coming out of the backfield trying to pick the guy that's covering. It's an impossible defense. I mean, it's a bad defense to call. And especially when you know it's coming, which is great scouting by the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen reads the play perfectly, and he drops it off to Cook, and he runs in for an easy touchdown. I mean, that's coaching. That is a preparedness, and that is calling the right play at the right time against the right defense. That is awesome. And by the way, there's a free rusher, and the free rusher, Josh Allen doesn't panic. That's what I talk about, not panicking on the field.
And he used to, which is a big point.
Well, I mean, he's grown into this.
Yeah,
now. He's
I know.
one of the best players in the league. He's he's an all-encompassing quarterback. He can run, he can move, and when he does now break the pocket, when he was younger, he would most likely run. Now, when he breaks the pocket, whether he goes right or left, he's looking downfield first, and then he runs.
Yeah. So a couple of things on the Tua injury, and I know that, of course, the seriousness of this with the history of concussions, we have talked about that. We're not ignoring that, but from a football standpoint, of course, if they're going to miss him for several weeks, that does end up playing into the hands of the Jets because they should be able to be better than a Skylar Thompson-led Dolphins team. However, they don't play the Dolphins head-to-head until December 8th.
Huh.
So that is the first time that they play the Dolphins, and then of course it's the last week of the season, week 18. They host the Dolphins on January 5th, so they're not going to see the Dolphins for a very, very long time. Also, we were very close to something that I was talking about last year a ton, but there was a roster move that has now avoided that, or voided it rather. I talked so much last year about, especially when Aaron Rodgers went down, about Mike White taking over the Dolphins starting quarterback job because Tua had all the concussions. And imagine Mike White with all those weapons and Tyreek Hill.
Mike White got picked up when he got cut.
Mike White last night was on the sidelines of that game. However,
For the Buffalo Bills.
he's in a Bills uniform.
Yes. And you remember when the Bills signed him, the first thing they were asking him was about the injury that he sustained against the Bills when he was the quarterback at the Jets.
Yeah, we got rocked.
He got rocked by Matt Milano.
Yep.
Now, Matt Milano, who's out for the year, which is a big loss. From what I saw last night, I wasn't overly impressed really with either defense. I know that Buffalo held Miami's offense to 10 points and got 3 turnovers, which I think is great, which is a great performance. I don't see like a top 10 defense there, So I mean, and that's a young team. And I just felt like the whole night Josh Allen was totally in control, didn't have to do anything spectacular. I'm sure he's feeling like I only had to throw the ball 19 times and everything was fine. Our defense did a great job. But there is nothing like winning a Thursday night game early in the season and having 10 days off.
Yeah, and sitting down on Sunday and watching all your competition and enjoying the game, knowing that you're 2-0 like the Buffalo Bills are. Yeah, I wonder.
I'm surprised it's not a Friday night game in Abu Dhabi.
Next year, I think, is when they start the Abu Dhabi series. I wonder, though. Like,
Don't be surprised when they do.
Are you kidding me? Nothing would surprise me with the NFL at this point. I mean, Roger Goodell just said that they want to have a full complement, 17 games overseas throughout the season. So, yeah, nothing would surprise me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're checking out places in Abu Dhabi, Australia,
Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, all through there, I mean, I'm sure they're talking to. I know Piff is talking to the PGA Tour, but I'm sure Piff is also talking to the NFL.
Yeah,
I
NFL.
guarantee you. Yeah. I would think.
Let me get
That's
a piece
a pile
of that.
of money right there, man.
No, sure it is. Yeah, I mean, with the NFL, because there was a ton of political backlash at first with the Live Tour. So
there's still backlash from the 9/11 families, and I don't blame them. I really don't. I mean, they gotta basically keep fighting for answers that they want and that they believe that they certainly deserve, and they still haven't gotten all the answers. So that's what a way to really get your point across than to tie yourself to protesting against the Live and PGA Tour merger, because that's the center of the argument.
You know how I'm back to Mike White for a second. I'm into the human nature thinking of things, right? Like I was trying to put myself in his shoes yesterday, right? So he spent at least a year, maybe 2 years, with Tua in that quarterback room. So that's his buddy. That's his friend. He sees him go down. So obviously he's upset there. But now he's on the Buffalo Bills. He's not going to get a chance to come in and play. Like, is he sitting there going, damn it, I knew this guy was going to get hurt again, and now I don't get my chance? Well, or is he like so upset that his buddy is hurt again that he's not thinking like that?
No, I mean, he's upset his buddy's hurt, of course, but he also recognizes that it's a missed opportunity for him, but he had no control over that.
No, I know.
I mean, and now Skylar Thompson takes over, and Skylar actually played well against the Buffalo Bills in a playoff game up there in Buffalo.
He did. Mike McDaniel's first year, right?
Right, and so he's going to be, obviously more seasoned. He's been around the team. The team's going to rally around him. I don't know if their defense is good enough. Again, all the defensive defections that they had and all the money that they put into offense, and now to lose a guy that's averaging $53 million a year, this is the problem. When you pay these quarterbacks, you got to hope that they make it through the season. We saw it with the Bengals last year and Joe Burrow. It's really a risk. And, for the players, like, people think, okay, you get this guaranteed contract. Well, it's not guaranteed. It's not all guaranteed. It's not, if you get hurt and you claim career ending, you don't get all your guaranteed money. That's a farce. And in the NFL, I mean, in Major League Baseball and the NFL, I mean, NBA, you get it. You get it no matter what, but not in the NFL.
Yeah, and
that's why I think Tua will be back. There's too much money on the table, too much incentive.
I mean, if he can physically play and if he's cleared to play and it's not going to affect his adult life for the rest of the time, then yeah, he's going to try to come back and play. But it truly is amazing though that Tua went through that entire season last year completely healthy, changed his body, learned how to fall differently, protected himself after what happened a couple of years ago. Gets through that season as an MVP candidate for 75% of the season. They see that last year. They give him the money, and here we are in week 2, is head down into Damar Hamlin's chest and getting another concussion.
And remember, he was, he was a guy that was very much in the MVP conversation well into December last year until they lost to Baltimore. He was right there, putting up huge numbers, and their defense got decimated by injuries. They kind of collapsed towards the end of the year. And his MVP candidacy kind of, went by the wayside a little bit. I mean, he still had an incredible year last year.
Yeah. I was watching some of the Barstool. They do like the watch parties live, and they have fans of the teams that are playing. And, Frank the Tank, Frank Fleming, our friend of the program, he is a big Dolphins fan.
Yeah, I know.
And he was before Tua got hurt and wasn't looking great. Frank said that Tua is a Hawaiian Daniel Jones. I thought that was unfair. Think that's fair?
Do I think it's fair? I think it's so unfair. I mean, Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I thought he was off base with the Hawaiian Daniel Jones take. I mean, one's righty, one's lefty.
I mean, he just, in the moment, he gets emotional. I did that walk with him.
Yeah.
And, he wasn't emotional when we were walking, but, I know he was trying to needle me about the Dolphins, about the Devils, the whole thing.
Yeah, Dan Marino.
Right, yeah. I mean, he just, he sometimes will lose it in the moment about his sports teams. And we all know why. We all have seen it. He's a Met fan. This guy sucks. That guy sucks. Get rid of him. He stinks.
He's a Hawaiian Daniel Jones.
Right.
Yep. Loses his mind.
Yeah, but he's frank.
That's
he's innocent. There's a level of fan innocence there.
Oh, without a doubt.